Tonight, we drive the back roads of America into places haunted not by myth, but by raw grief, unresolved loss, and restless souls. 10 destinations, 10 chapters in a horror novel where you are the unsuspecting guest. The walls remember, the shadows know your name, and some doors once opened can never be shut again. This isn't a list, it's a descent into the places where history refuses to die and where the dead just might follow you home. Keep your eyes open. The road ahead is darker than you think. Every turn takes you deeper. Every mile takes you closer to something you may never escape. Number 10, Bally Mansion, Philadelphia. Bally Mansion's Victorian elegance hides a darker soul. The most feared space is the Blue Room, home to the death chair, said to claim the lives of anyone who sits in it. 4 deaths and counting. A red mist called Amanda reportedly guards it, drifting silently across the room before vanishing. Portraits seem to watch, their eyes following you even when you turn away. Guests capture extra faces in photographs belonging to no living person. Sudden cold spots brush past, like someone slipping by in a crowded hall, only you're alone. One visitor swore the chair's seat sank, as though an invisible figure had taken the seat. The air thickened, heavy enough to make breathing feel like wading through water. Even the guide stepped back, muttering, "It picks who it wants." Outside, the crisp air feels like freedom, yet unease lingers. People report dreams of the mansion after visiting, seeing flashes of its halls, hearing the echo of footsteps behind them in their own homes. Bally doesn't beg for attention. It studies you quietly, deciding whether it's finished with you, and sometimes it isn't. Number 9, Bell Witch Cave, Adams. The Bell Witch legend began in the early 1800s, when the Bell family was terrorized by a spirit that spoke, slapped, and threatened their lives. John Bell himself was believed to have died from her poison. The cave nearby is said to be her dwelling. Inside, the air changes, cool, damp, with a strange weight that clings to your chest. Whispers seem to slide from the stone, and faint taps follow you deeper. Visitors have heard their names called in a rasping tone and felt icy fingers graze their skin. One skeptic mocked the story, only to leave with deep, burning scratches across his back. The marks appeared fresh, though no one had touched him. The darkness in the cave isn't just absence of light. It's a pressure, as if the air itself is leaning on you. Some claim the witch walks unseen beside visitors, waiting for a word, a laugh, anything to provoke her. Stepping back into the sunlight feels like release, until you realize the sound of footsteps behind you hasn't faded. The witch's story is old, but she's not finished telling it. Number 8, Dollhouse Graves, Indiana. 2. Small graves topped with handmade dollhouses mark the resting place of sisters Vivian and Lova, gone for over a century. The houses are furnished with tiny beds, lace curtains, and toys left by strangers, bright offerings for girls who never grew up. By day, they're quietly heartbreaking. By night, they're unsettling. Lights sometimes flicker inside, though no candles are lit. Visitors have heard faint knocking from within, like tiny hands rapping on glass. A red ball once left outside appeared, later tucked neatly under one of the miniature beds. The stillness here feels deliberate, as if the air holds its breath. Many report a sudden chill, colder than the night, wrapping around their legs. Looking through the small windows often brings a strange sensation, like someone inside is looking back. Leaving a toy is an oddly emotional act. You find yourself arranging it carefully, almost instinctively, as though you're being watched. When you turn to go, it's hard not to glance back. Some swear they've seen the curtains twitch or the glow inside shift, like the sisters are still at play, quietly welcoming the next visitor brave enough to stop. Number 7. The Queen Mary. The Queen Mary, once a glamorous ocean liner and later a troop ship, is now docked in Long Beach, but her decks still hum with life that isn't living. Cabin B340 is infamous. Blankets tugged away, faucets turning on without touch, and loud knocks from empty walls. Staff avoided after dark. In the engine room, a ghostly crewman is seen for seconds before fading, reliving the moment he was crushed in a watertight doorway. The drained swimming pool carries a softer sadness. Guests hear the giggles of a little girl, her footsteps splashing across tiles that have been dry for decades. Some say she asks for her mother before vanishing. Even still, the Queen Mary shifts. Her floors creak, railings hum under your palm as if the ship itself breathes. Stepping off the gangway, visitors feel the relief of solid ground, yet some report strange dreams for nights afterward. Waves crashing in their ears, the faint scent of seawater, and the sense of someone standing just behind them. On the Queen Mary, the voyage never ends. Number 6. William Westerfeld House, San Francisco. The William Westerfeld House has been a brothel, a flop house, a bohemian commune, and the rumored site of occult rituals. Each chapter of its history has left something behind. Inside, the air smells faintly of incense and dust, as though past residents never left. Stained glass windows throw fractured light across the rooms. Some say the figures in them shift when not being watched. Occasionally, faint piano notes drift through empty halls. Visitors often feel the sensation of someone sitting on their bed at night, light enough to dip the mattress without sound. Shadows here move oddly, leaning toward you, then slipping away if you stare too long. On the staircase, the wooden banister sometimes feels warm, as if touched moments before. Guests have reported hearing whispers directly behind them, in a language they can't identify. From the street, the house seems still and silent. But once you've been inside, you understand. The quiet isn't emptiness. It's listening, and it never forgets. Number 5. Crescent Hotel, Eureka Springs. The Crescent Hotel's grand Victorian charm hides a grim past. In the 1930s, it became a fraudulent cancer hospital run by Norman Baker. Patients seeking cures often ended up in the basement morgue. That morgue still stands, with its cold storage room and unsettling hum. Guests walking past sometimes feel a sudden pressure on their backs. Apparitions of nurses in white have been seen pushing empty stretchers down hallways before disappearing into thin air. In guest rooms, blankets are smoothed by unseen hands, and bathroom mirrors fog with handprints that don't match anyone inside. Televisions turn to static, with shifting shapes that look like faces. By daylight, the Crescent is warm and welcoming. At night, the halls grow colder and longer, the air thick with something unspoken. Guests leave with beautiful photographs, and a lingering sense of being watched even long after they've gone. Number 4. Stanley Hotel, Estes Park. The Stanley Hotel looks like a postcard dream, framed by Colorado's mountains, until you stay the night. Its most famous guest, Stephen King, awoke here from a nightmare so vivid it inspired The Shining. Room 217 is the heart of the haunting. Guests report waking to their clothes neatly folded by unseen hands, or hearing the sound of a woman's voice humming softly in the dark. In the music room, a grand piano plays single notes at night, as though testing its keys. Hallways feel too long here. Mirrors seem to hold reflections a fraction of a second longer than they should. Guests walking alone hear the faint patter of footsteps following, only to find the corridor empty. The air changes as you climb higher into the hotel. Cold pockets linger in doorways, and whispers seem to drift up from the floorboards. Staff claim they've seen a ghostly maid, still tending rooms as if decades never passed. The Stanley doesn't need jump scares. It wears its ghosts quietly, letting you feel them in the pause before a floorboard creaks. When you leave, you'll wonder whether it's the mountain air or something else making it so hard to breathe. Number 3. Winchester Mystery House, San Jose. Sarah Winchester, heiress to the rifle fortune, believed she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by her family's weapons. Her solution: building and never stop. The Winchester Mystery House is a labyrinth of over 160 rooms, with staircases that lead to ceilings, doors that open to sheer drops, and hallways that loop endlessly. Sarah thought this bizarre design would confuse the spirits chasing her. Visitors feel the disorientation almost immediately. The house bends logic. Turn left, and you end up where you started. Cold drafts brush your face from nowhere. Knocks echo from walls that shouldn't be shared with any other room. Some have seen a dark figure at the end of a hallway, only to find it vanish when they approach. Guides tell of tools being moved when no one's there, and the faint sound of hammering, as though construction continues long after Sarah's death. It's not just the house's odd layout that chills you. It's the feeling that someone, somewhere in its maze, is keeping pace with you. Number 2. St. Augustine Lighthouse, St. Augustine. The St. Augustine Lighthouse towers over Florida's oldest city, a sentinel with a tragic past. In the late 1800s, 3 young girls drowned near the site. Today, visitors climbing its spiral staircase often hear the giggles of children echoing above them, growing louder as they near the top. Some feel small hands tugging at their clothes or hair. At night, a tall, shadowy figure is seen patrolling the catwalk, watching the grounds below. Inside, cold spots linger on certain steps. Shadows dart just beyond reach. Staff have heard heavy boots climbing when the tower is locked. The view from the top is breathtaking, but some visitors leave quickly, unnerved by the sense of someone standing just behind them. Whether it's the girls at play or the watchful keeper, the lighthouse keeps its ghosts close. Number 1. Myrtles Plantation, St. Francisville. Often called one of America's most haunted homes, the Myrtles Plantation sits on land layered with tragedy. Built in 1796, it has witnessed multiple murders and is rumored to stand on a Native American burial ground. The most famous ghost is Chloe, a former enslaved woman often seen wearing a green turban. She is said to have poisoned the family in a failed revenge, and her figure has appeared in photographs between living guests. Visitors hear footsteps across the veranda, whispers in empty rooms, and see rocking chairs moving on their own. Mirrors are said to hold the faces of the dead, faint but watching. At night, the air thickens with a sweet, rotting scent, like flowers left too long. Guides admit they sometimes feel a presence brushing past them, especially near the grand staircase. The Myrtles doesn't just tell ghost stories, it makes you part of one. From cursed chairs to endless staircases, from giggling children in lighthouses to mournful whispers in forgotten rooms, these places aren't just haunted. They are alive with history, with grief, with echoes of the people who never left. If you ever visit, remember, ghosts don't always stay where you find them. Sometimes they come along for the ride. This has been Top Facts. Subscribe for more journeys into the strange, the chilling, and the unexplained. And tell us, which of these would you dare to visit?